Hello, brothers and sisters. I want to talk to you about some inconsistencies in the aeronautics department. There may be a lot of different sites that you might see that are different from what was shown in different pictures, if you know what I mean. And it's quite interesting. So in 2014, the Go Fast project, civilians made their own rocket, and it was called the Go Fast rocket in 2014, and they launched it up into the sky, and it was spinning very quickly in order to keep it in a straight trajectory, and it went straight up. And then all of a sudden, it slowed down, and what happens when things slow down? Well, you have to have some kind of friction. But according to the science we were told in school, there is no friction in space. It's just empty void. It's a vacuum, right? Well, why would a vacuum, when a rocket is already spinning very fast, be slowed down to this point where it almost stops? You gotta wonder. Here's the video footage. In space, there's no friction to stop angular momentum, so it all of a sudden stops, slows down, and then, a little while after, it releases the rocket. How is this possible?
Rockets don't have brakes. It literally stopped. All of that angular momentum from the rotation of the rocket and the linear momentum from flying up just stopped. No, it had to hit something. What did it hit?
Now there's this movie called The Truman Show, and his mother had an unwanted pregnancy, so she gave up her rights to have him, and she let him be taken by this show producer who decided to make an entire show that they taped his entire life from childhood, and they called it The Truman Show. Well, he got tired of it and decided to sail away to try and, just live his life because he always wanted to travel. And he found out at the end of his world was a bright blue wall. In the Bible, it said that God made the earth and the waters and separated the waters from the waters and made a firmament above to separate heaven and earth. What if God made us, his world, were taken care of, and he knew that all of us were sinners, so he sent his son to die for us so we could actually go and be with him instead of being separated? If we were actually living in a domed world, would you feel secure or trapped? I bet the enemy, the evil one, kind of feels trapped right about now, and he just wants out in order to do what he wants to do. But in reality, he is actually the one who is holding us back and keeping us in a domed world, keeping us in sin so we cannot escape. He wants to bring us down with him and keep us trapped with him and have us being drugged to hell instead of us being free and choosing to choose Jesus Christ as our Savior and not live in sin anymore. Now, this isn't a salvational issue, but a lot of people talk about a flat earth or domed earth according to Bible and the scriptures, and they often cite something called a crepuscular shadow ray. They look at the light rays coming out of the clouds and they try and triangulate it based upon the differing angles based on the Pythagorean theorem. According to that, the sun might actually be behind that mountain. But if you look, there's actually an anti-crepuscular shadow ray which goes behind you and then looks like it's getting smaller as well. And that doesn't mean the sun is behind you, so it all is a perspective issue. Now these lines or rays all look straight, right? But the closer you get to them based upon your perspective from where they're coming from, even though they're all lines and they're straight and they're not bending, that looks like they are kind of bending no matter which way you're looking at them, forward or backwards. It looks like they're coming from two sources, but in actuality they're all straight. So the closer you get to straight line light rays, the more that seems to you, based upon your perspective, the closer you get, the farther they look apart, and the farther away, the closer they are. The ISS took a picture of these clouds, and they're all straight. But if you were down on the ground, it would look a little bit different, kind of like that other perspective.
I've been looking for a long time and have not seen. We're out late in the evening because it's cooled down now, and it's cool enough to walk. What we've got here is what's called crepuscular rays, and that's where the sun is shining through the clouds, and it's causing this ray effect here, which is this big broad ray of shadow here. Of course, another way to think of this is it's just a long volumetric shadow. And then if we follow that all the way over there, see it's coming bigger and broader and wider as it comes towards us. We follow it all the way across the sky and it becomes narrow again. So we're now seeing what's called anti-crepuscular rays. I've been hoping to see these for years and years, and this is the first time I've ever seen it. And it's probably not the best example of the thing, but I am really excited to see this. So there we go. So that over there is crepuscular rays, and we follow them across the sky to the anti-crepuscular rays. So this is just perspective. It's just an effect of vanishing points, a normal geometric perspective, but it's actually quite unusual to see anti-crepuscular rays because obviously the light has to get all the way across the other side of the sky and then hit something to create a shadow.
Now this ISS photo is nice, but I think that there's something that they're not telling us. Go ahead down into the description and click on the Dropbox link. I made an entire video, put it all together for you. I'll meet you over there.